because it's taken 40 minutes to do all this.
Fantastic.
Shall we have a little roundup of the game? Shall we have a little touch on the games?
I've got an idea, Miles. I've got a fantastic idea. What we're going to do is we're going to do our best to fly through these games because, as you said, we're already deep into our episode, and we've got a lot of games covered because this was a fantastic week, wasn't it?
It was.
We're talking about lots of one-score games. I think it was only Niners Giants. I want to say is the only non-one-score game. Oh, Rams Saints, of course.
Rams Saints
from the Sunday Red Zone slate. So what I'm going to do, Miles, is I'm going to set a. What'd you say? 10-minute timer? 15-minute timer?
I'd say 10 minutes. We're just going to try and rattle through as much.
And we're going to see if we can get through all of the games in 10 minutes. Which is going to be a nice little test for us and try not to overtalk. But I tell you what, let's see how good we are.
I say we don't get out the 6 o'clock slate, but here we go.
That's not the confidence. Go on, right. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Miles, I'll let you lead off. Your time starts. Damn it.
We missed the button.
Now.
Okay, so started off Thursday Night Football. Ravens versus the Dolphins. Ravens convincing win. I think that was needed, Sam, wasn't it?
Absolutely. We needed a dominant win. I don't think we were fantastic in the first half. Great second half performance. Defense looks great. Kyle Hamilton's the best safety in the league. And it's nice to see Derrick Henry getting 100 yards again.
Yes, absolutely. Bears, Bengals. Wow, what a game this was. 47-42. It came down to a crucial drive at the end of the game for the Chicago Bears to win it. Joe Flacco, the unluckiest man in football, throwing 4 touchdowns, almost 500 yards and failing to get the win. The Bears had 4 different players throw the football. This is an incredible game. Carmenonga almost went for 200. Colson Loveland went for 100. What a game this was.
This is the one that's going to be a struggle to get through quickly because not just a crucial drive at the end of the game, Miles. There was about 5 crucial drives to finish that game, wasn't there? Back and forth. We just couldn't believe it. Late touchdown by the Bears. Late touchdown by the Bengals. Bengals come back. Onside kicks. The Yoshivas touchdown.
Yeah.
Just as you're thinking, okay, the Bears just need to get to field goal range. Loveland says, no one can tackle me. I'm prime Gronk, and gets his way all the way into the end zone. And yeah, this is 2 teams that apparently don't have a defense, but have some fantastic offenses. Ben Johnson was absolutely in his bag with the play calls. That Cole Kmet under center toss to Caleb was fantastic. There's just so much that was so good about this game, and this was prime NFL football, wasn't it?
It was.
No defense, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to see an offensive masterclass, God, look no further.
I think the offensive masterclass that just run up the scores are always the best games. You look back to Chiefs, Rams, and all those games that go over 50 points. This was one of them. No defense being played is entertaining football. If we talk about fourth quarters, how they've gone this season, obviously we've had the Broncos Giants being one of the best. I'd actually say this game beats it in the amount of lead changes that occurred this game. Fantastic bit of football that was on show to start Sunday.
31 points in the fourth quarter.
It's amazing. It really is. We need to talk about the Minnesota Vikings beating the Detroit Lions. It wasn't the prettiest game for JJ McCarthy, but getting the job done in Ford Field is a big, big statement for the Minnesota Vikings. Back to winning ways, back to challenging for that playoff spot. Massive win for them.
Yeah, so necessary. A big knock to the Lions in their playoff seeding, something they really didn't need. Nice to see how much this Vikings locker room loves JJ McCarthy, man. They want him to be the future of their team. They rally behind him. And like you said, it wasn't pretty, but if there's one thing he did well, that final throw to Jalen Naylor for the first down to seal the game was picture perfect. The catch by Naylor was fantastic. Gutsy win for the Vikings, just what they needed. On the Lions side, one of my interesting notes, I'm a bit annoyed that we're having to rattle through it because I really want to go into depth with it. Jahmyr Gibbs cannot pass protect against linebackers.
Nope,
it was really interesting to see. In this game, he gave up 2 sacks, 5 pressures, something like that. And it's something that's going to eat into his workload. We always say, if you're going to be a running back, you've got to be able to pass block. And now Monty, known for being a great pass blocker, do we see Gibbs lose a few of those snaps? He's such a fantastic player, but you've got to be able to protect your QB. And if you're letting Jared Goff take hits and get pressured, while Monty could be protecting him, it could affect his snap share going forward.
Absolutely. I do think it will as well. Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers 16-13 in Lambeau. With the Detroit Lions needing a win to actually take over the Green Bay Packers, they failed to do that. The Packers then lose against the Panthers. Every bit of seeding change happens there. The Carolina Panthers come up with a clutch win. Rico Dowdle, what a player you've turned out to be. 25 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a couple of pumps to go along with it. Fair play, Rico Dowdle.
I would like to say I called it. I said it was a great move for the Panthers, but yeah, whatever.
You did.
Panthers
You
have
certainly
a
did.
winning record, 5-4, unbelievable. Rico Dowd is the best player in NFL history. It's fantastic for the Panthers. I can't believe that they're able to knock off the Packers here.
I think Jordan Love might have overtaken Tua Tagovailoa for the worst pass of the NFL season as well. A dreadful, dreadful play to basically throw the game away in the end. The LA Chargers beat the Tennessee Titans 27-20. It wasn't convincing by either team, I don't think. Obviously, the Tennessee Titans got most of their points from special teams and defense. The Chargers probably needed the win, made it more difficult than they should have done. But fair play for getting the win and moving to 6-3.
Yeah, nice to be in 6-3, but again, not convinced by him. I'm worried about a late season skid or just going into the playoffs and not really being
Joe Alt now
contender. Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest thing.
Forward.
That's the biggest thing. They traded for Trevor Penning. Oh, so exciting! Chargers.
Yeah.
That's going to fix everything.
Should have mentioned that. My bad. We'll move on to the New England Patriots beating the Atlanta Falcons 24-23. Drake London, 3 touchdowns, 100 yards in the air. Really good performance from him, but missed kick at the end of the game really seals it for the Atlanta Falcons. After releasing Younghoe Koo, it's shot himself in the foot once again.
Well, yeah, Ko wasn't good enough. It feels like Parker Romo is not good enough either. They might need to go into the kicker market once again. This is a game of two halves. Patriots were outstanding in the first half, absolutely dominant. They were really poor in the second half. Falcons make the comeback. Drake London, dominant. This is what I wanted to see at the start of the year. Hopefully continues it for the rest of the season.
Niners beat the Giants 34-24. Not going to talk about this much. Giants aren't the same team without Cam Scatterboo. The Colts lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-20. Got close towards the end. The Colts actually had a chance to level it up. They couldn't quite convert. Surprised here. Actually, I did predict this, Sam, in our weekly predictions that the Steelers would win.
Really
just vintage Rodgers. That's all you need. Vintage Rodgers. It comes out and performs. Daniel Jones, 5 turnovers. Crazy stat line.
6 total by the Colts as well, which is just mental. This is what the Steelers defense needed. They were giving up the most yards per game or something like that coming into this. The Colts had like the most yards gained in the league. So these two forces coming together, this is not what we were expecting. And it's worrying. They held JT in check, and that's what's so important. I think the linebackers,
Massive.
Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, isn't it? They did a fantastic job. Is Peyton Wilson the other Steelers linebacker?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Second you go.
That's right. Yeah, they did a fantastic job keeping the offensive line from getting big pushes and making the space for Jonathan Taylor. Steelers, this is a huge, huge, huge win for them in their hopes to keep hold of that AFC North title.
Yes, rattling through the 9 o'clock slate because it was pretty poor. Broncos barely beat the Texans. Really scrappy game there. Jags, overtime win against the Raiders, 30-29. Saints, obviously no competition there against the Rams. Big game here, though. Bills beat the Chiefs. Josh Allen, vintage. Patrick Mahomes throwing the late pick to Maxwell Hairston, the rookie, getting his first interceptions. Great first interception against Patrick Mahomes. That's an awesome one to tell the future grandchildren.
Absolutely.
It was kind of predicted, though, the Bills would get the win in their home stadium. This is a big statement for the Bills. They need to apply pressure to the New England Patriots. Never thought you'd say that this season for the division title, but fair play, Buffalo.
Yeah, this is the win that they needed. This was their regular season Super Bowl. We see it every year. I thought, it has to be said, Mahomes was fantastic. He did everything he could. He had it really hard with the pass rush. Joey Bosa had one of the best games of his career, let alone this season. The pass rush really made it difficult for Mahomes. He was doing everything to hang in the pocket, convert on these big third downs and whatnot. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe how well Mahomes was playing, but just not enough to stop Josh Allen and this Bills offense. And with that, Miles, we're at our 2-minute warning.
We did well.
2-minute
warning.
2-minute warning.
Okay, we got time. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Commanders 38-14. Big news, though. Jaden Daniels. What was it? Dislocated elbow. There's probably some more damage. There hasn't really been any news out of it.
Yeah.
Brutal injury. But yeah, it doesn't look good for the Commanders' rest of the season.
And also, why is he in the game?
Agree. At least Dan Quinn held his hand up and said he shouldn't have been in the game.
That's
I
good.
respect that.
And that's what I'd expect from him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's rough, and the Seahawks again. This is just one of those performances. Like I said earlier, they look dominant. They look like one of the best teams in the league. Offense and defense, complementary football. They're so good on both sides. I can't wait to see what they're going to do in the playoffs.
And finally, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys 27-17. They need to continue with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback. That is the only statement that needs to be made for this game.
Oh my goodness, Miles. It doesn't sound right. Just because of this idea of
He's
where
done
Kyler
better
should
this
be in his
season, which
career,
is
but he has done
crazy.
better. And Jacoby Brissett, we knew this, didn't we? We knew he was a decent backup, and he could have these games where he can game manage and do a good job. I'm a little surprised, I would say, that this is the way it's going with the Cardinals. That maybe he should be keeping the job over Kyler. And like I said earlier about the Cowboys. The offense is fantastic. Look at the numbers that CeeDee Lamb and Pickens are putting up together. Jake Ferguson was contributing. Javonte Williams, 83 yards is still good. But just again, the defense is not doing enough to stop opposing offenses. And I tell you what, I think you mentioned Deron Bland earlier. So he had 14 total tackles this week. I feel like when your corner
That's because
has the most tackles,
he was catching up for every player that you let
usually
past.
usually means he's not doing a good job in coverage.
Absolutely. Hey, what was the time? That is good.
Miles,
podcasts don't need to be this long, do they?
we're on 5 seconds. I tell you what, we've absolutely
so
smashed
good.
that.
That's
the
so
way
good.
FDT does their 10-minute roundup. Proud of that one. Yeah, good job.